Hello and thanks for joining us. This is the Signature 30 Minutes. I am Wabozen Jokuna, and the headlines: University students threaten to beat up lecturers over continued closure of the universities. Non-governmental organization calls for the preservation of Nigeria's cultural values at all costs. Corporate Affairs Commission generates 19 billion naira revenue in 2020. And now for the details. The Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Lilian Salami, on Wednesday said the school management was ready to resume academic activities in a safe and secure manner. Professor Salami said the university management will ensure strict compliance with COVID-19 protocols to protect students and members of staff from being exposed to coronavirus infections. The Vice Chancellor told journalists that some of the students have started issuing threats to beat up lecturers should the closure of public universities persist, adding that students of public universities have been at home since March 2020, when the Academic Staff Union of Universities began a 9-month strike. The union, however, conditionally suspended the industrial action on December 24, 2020, after a lot of meetings by lecturers and the federal government. But ASU has insisted that it is not safe for lecturers and students to return to the classrooms, as it cannot guarantee social distancing in crowded classes and hostels. Many Nigerians have been reacting to the strike embarked upon by officials of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, over poor funding by the federal government. Correspondent Obi Chibweze went to the streets to get reactions of Abuja residents to the strike.
No. Now with network people, if they say they will not have this thing before the 19th of this month, they will block the line. Some line we are using for business. We are not a government worker. We are not aimed by salary. As we go side, when we get the money, if they go strike, it will be another big problem, more than COVID-19 that they are talking about.
It depends on the kind of facilities they are talking about. If it's about COVID-19, I think they have all the preventive measures that they should put in place, like their nose masks, use your sanitizers, and then there should be at least, people should go in one at a time so that they can do their national identity number. So I'm not in support of them going on strike at this time.
Yes, because we believe that this is only what government can hear. If government did not hear you, you can go to another measure. This is the only way government can hear it. Let them go to the strike, so that government can come in table and then negotiate with them. This is the only voice that can speak for them.
Yes, the strike is just to iron their view, to let Nigeria know that actually their life is at risk. Actually, I was there. I saw how the people were choked up, and then they are human beings also. There is need for appropriate arrangement so that such they will not fall a victim like the medical doctors, because COVID-19 actually is real.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Health, Professor Bayami, says the state government has activated an oxygen plant within the premises of the Infectious Diseases Hospital, Yaba, to provide swift support to COVID-19 patients who require oxygen therapy. He said this was as a result of an increase in the number of coronavirus patients having breathing difficulties in the state. The commissioner added that the operation of the plant will significantly make oxygen available to COVID-19 patients and supply about 300 cylinders per day and 6 cylinders per hour for use of patients admitted at the isolation facility. Bayami disclosed that about 300 cylinders of gas are being used a day in the state isolation facility, stressing that a patient with a critical case may use about 6 cylinders of oxygen within 24 hours. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, a non-governmental organization, has called for the total overhaul of the Ministry of Culture and a legal framework to back up the preservation of Nigerian culture. The organization made the call in Abuja on Wednesday while addressing journalists. Signature TV correspondent Damilola Abudu now brings us the story.
The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria called for the total overhaul of the Ministry of Culture and a legal framework to back up the preservation of the Nigerian culture. Emmanuel Owubiko, the national coordinator of the Writers Association, made the call in Abuja on Wednesday.
We're calling for a total overhaul of the cultural sector. So we're really alarmed, and we're disappointed that we don't have a ministry, full-fledged ministry of culture. So we need to have a ministry of culture that is 21st century compliant, that will be awake to her functions and realize that you have an organization in the country that has advertised objectives that offends the fundamental, the core cultural value system of the country.
Lamenting the cultural interference of the Western world on the African system, he challenged the Amnesty International for being advocates of same-sex marriage in Nigeria, an act which negates the societal values. He called on the federal government to fill the vacuum that exists in the human rights and cultural sector by living up to its duty to protect, preserve, and promote the Nigerian cultures, which enhance human dignity.
Then you have a ministry of culture that is not doing anything, where there are efforts to destroy our culture. I have said it, that we're going to ask Mr. President to remove the current Minister of Culture, and I don't know how they combine the bit.
Condemning a recent post by Amnesty International's goals published on its Facebook account, which includes making same-sex relations legal in all countries, making abortion legal in all countries, and abolishing the death penalty in all countries. The association urged the National Assembly to set up a committee on media and culture, which will spearhead the fight against cultural infractions from the Western world.
We need such strong committee in Nigeria, and not committee that will be defending Ahmed Lawan or what's that his name? What's the one that the police killed a vendor? You know, that's not the kind of committee we need. Where when the police, the DSS that's guiding a speaker kills a vendor, then you have a committee's spokesperson or media will begin to talk. No, that's not the job of the committee. The job of the committee is supposed to be to defend our culture, not to defend infractions that are done by officials. That's what we're saying. So things should be done normally. That's how constitutional democracy should work.
Amnesty International, a global movement of more than 7 million people who campaign for a world where human rights are enjoyed by all. Their vision is for every person to enjoy all the rights enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and other international human rights standards. Damilola Abudu, Signature TV News, Abuja.
Indigents of Achi communities resident in Enugu, the Enugu state capital, have extolled the Chief Executive Officer of Signature Communications Limited, Vim Martin Obiara, for creating a bond of friendship among the people of Achi communities and the state at large. The indigents spoke at the end of year party hosted by the Signature Communications Post in Enugu, the state capital. The atmosphere at the Enugu residence of Chief Vim Martin Obiara on December the 20th, 2020 could best be described as celebrative and fun-filled, as people from the 12 communities of Achi who are living in the Enugu state capital converged on the house of one of their illustrious sons for the end of the year party. Achi is one of the biggest clans in Enugu state and Oji River local government area with 12 autonomous communities. Speaking on the importance of the end of the year party, organized and sponsored by Chief Vim Martin Obiorah, the chairman, Achi Improvement Union, Law Ibenyenwa, said it has continued to create a platform for reunion and bonding among their people.
We do this every year, and it's traditional. Every year we come here to celebrate and see ourselves and greet one another and interact as brothers and sisters from the same town and from the same clan, as a matter of fact, because actually it's made up of 12 autonomous communities. We know that everybody is struggling in one thing or the other. Others are businesses, civil service and so on. But at the end of the year like this, when we gather in a forum like this, it's a platform where we meet one another and interact with one another and exchange views and exchange ideas on how to develop the community and how to move actually forward. Where there is love, where there is unity, there's always progress. And today we're going to talk to ourselves one after the other and give us what are the challenges facing the community, how can we advance, how can we make things better for us. That's precisely why we are here. So I think that explaining that there is too much tension in the land, we must begin to appreciate that we are one and that we can coexist as brothers and sisters. Otherwise, we know what happened in the north and every part of the country today. So we must come together and know that we are one and that we must appreciate one another.
Other people who attended the party, like Onowu Celeste Nwabueze and Dr. Chukwu Caroline, prayed for Vim Martin Obiorah and his family and asked other wealthy people in Achi to emulate Chief Ilo.
Apart from this, a particular for Geneva, Vim Martin Ilo, have been organizing scholarship for people of Adu. Jabu has trained from primary to university. He's a true philanthropist. What we are saying, let God provide for him more, so that he will do more for us in Jesus' name.
They also spoke on the philanthropic lifestyle of their host.
On 27th of this December now, this one has been over, getting to 20 years. He do give scholarship to people in Aduache, primary school, secondary, and even tertiary institutions.
Meanwhile, Chief Vim Martin Obiorah, who was represented by Dr. Kajitan Ilo, expressed fulfillment, pointing out that the end of the year party has continued to promote peaceful coexistence in the length and breadth of Achi.
This has been happening this is the third year, and it is one of the things that Chief Vim Martin rolled out to make sure that the unity of Achi is kept intact. So every December, he hosts the whole of the community in his house, to catch up with things that are happening, see old faces, and share some good time together. And that has been happening. This is the third year, and I think from the crowd here, you will know that people really appreciate what is happening here, and they want to be part of it.
Achi si nuno, isi nago, as the people describe themselves, is one popular mantra and greeting of the entire people of Achi in Oji River local government area, subtly suggesting that they have 12 communities or villages which include Elugu, Lampokoro, Amankpunato, Isikwe, Agbadala, Egu, Ehuhe, Ado, Umumba Ugu, the Elugu, Oko, Ahani, and Amareti. And now in business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says it is currently diversifying its portfolio beyond oil assets due to the impact of global energy transition. The Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, made this known on Wednesday while speaking at the Gulf Intelligence Global UAE Energy Forum 2021. According to him, the NNPC has recognized the impact of energy transition and is venturing into domestic gas utilization projects, support of research and innovation, solar investment, biofuel, infrastructure and energy policy support. Kyari also said in spite of COVID-19 pandemic, NNPC Group will continue to focus on increasing gas production, deepening the domestic utilization of gas, increasing the corporation's capacity to export gas, and investing in non-oil and gas business. The Registrar General of Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, has said the organization realized more than 19 billion naira as internally generated revenue in 2020. Abubakar made this known in an interview with the media on Wednesday in Abuja. According to him, in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic that affected economic activities, the Commission recorded an increase in the registration of businesses and other corporate entities during the year. He also said the year 2020 was one of the organization's best years in terms of revenue generation, as the Commission had a revenue target of 18.2 billion naira but generated over 19 billion naira. Adding that it is the first time in the last 10 years the organization was able to give more money to the federal government in terms of operation surplus. And now the stock market report. A spike in the share price of Mobil Oil PLC and 49 others lifted the market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange by 23.583 billion naira on Wednesday. The market capitalization rose from 21.69 trillion naira to 21.93, a 23.583 billion naira gain. Consequently, the all share index expanded to 40,341.05 points on Wednesday from 40,295.95 points at the close of trading on Tuesday. This was a 0.11% rise. 468.146 million shares were traded, which was valued at 6.963 billion naira. Veritas Capital Assurance PLC, Sovereign Trust Insurance, and Academy PLC dominated the gainers chart, while Chelarams PLC was on top of the losers chart. On the chart of the most traded equities, Zenith Bank and Guarantee Trust Bank dominated the chart. Zenith Bank traded 45.772 million shares valued at 1.185 billion naira, while Guarantee Trust Bank traded 18.247 shares valued at 592.684 million naira. And now from the foreign scene, President-elect Joe Biden on Wednesday nominated former Ambassador Samantha Power, a forceful advocate of humanitarian diplomacy, to lead the U.S. foreign aid and elevated the position's role. Power, if confirmed as administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, would sit on the National Security Council along with John Kerry, the former Secretary of State, tipped as climate envoy for the first time, giving such prominence to the two issues. Power will be the best-known figure ever to lead U.S. aid. A new indication that Biden plans to put a focus on overseas assistance, which Secretary of State nominee Antony Blinken has said will be at the center of America's foreign policy. A former war correspondent born in Ireland, Power won the Pulitzer Prize for her 2002 book, A Problem from Hell, in which she critiques the United States' reluctance to label and prevent genocide around the world. Power, 50, was an early supporter of Barack Obama, who in the second term as president made her United States ambassador to the United Nations. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday tasks officials with launching mass coronavirus vaccinations from next week, pushing Russia's homemade jab as the world's best. After being the first country to register a vaccine for use, Russia is looking to leap ahead of other countries in the race to inoculate its population of 146 million. Russia in August registered Sputnik 5, named after the Soviet satellite, months ahead of Western competitors, but before the start of large-scale clinical trials, which left some experts worried. Putin said Russia should get relevant infrastructure ready to boost production of the vaccine, which Moscow is promoting to other countries as cheaper and easier to transport than other jabs. Deputy Prime Minister Tatiana Kolikova told Putin during the meeting that Russia was ready to launch the mass vaccination from Monday. Now in sports, Manchester United moved 3 points clear at the top of the 2020-2021 English Premier League after Paul Pogba's goal gave them a 1-0 win over Burnley on Tuesday. The victory in the rearranged fixture at Turf Moor put Manchester United 36 points from 17 games with rival Liverpool on 33 points. This has come ahead of the clash between Liverpool and Manchester United on Sunday at Anfield. It is the first time Manchester United have been top of the league after 17 games since December 2012. The second wave of the COVID-19 is projected to go up at this time of the year. Please do well to stay safe, maintain physical and social distance, and wear your face masks while going about your daily activities. And that's the Signature TV 30 Minutes. On behalf of my producer, Obomano Marvelous, I'm Wabos Njoko. Thanks for watching and good evening.